All right, let's do this. There we go. It's like getting punched in the face by Mike Tyson. The boys at SilencerCo decided to bring out some fun toys for us to play with today. I'm never against playing with fun toys, especially ones that go pew. We got one of my favorites, which is the HK91, or if you want to get technical, the G3. We have the M1A suppressed. You don't really see that too often. Oh, and for those who don't know, this is a magazine. This is a clip. Clip goes in the M1A, the magazine, in G3. All right. So, that being said, I have no idea what this is. I just know that's a proof barrel.
It looks fun to shoot.
It looks fun to shoot. And the proverbial weapon of the gangster's choice, the Uzi. I like the Uzi and then I don't. I don't like it because it technically is a horrible gun. However, when you suppress it, it's just beautiful. The Styrog, that's all I'm gonna say about that because I think it's horrifically ugly. But, all right, look, me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Styrog. Now, I've only shot it once and I've never shot it suppressed. So I'm gonna shoot it suppressed today, maybe my feelings will change. We got some lever action going on here too as well. I don't think I've ever seen lever action suppressed, but then again, you guys are SilencerCo, so that's kind of par for the course, no? Of course, we got the Scorpion. The Scorpion was, by and large, kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit based off of this. I know it doesn't make any sense because it looked totally, completely different, but in more ways than not, they are kind of based around the same idea and style. Then we have the FN. It's oddly really light. And then, of course, the Rifle Dynamic SilencerCo collab.
Yes, sir.
I've never actually shot an AK suppressed before, so that'll probably be happening here for the very first time. Oh, forgot about the PS90. I'm actually kind of looking forward to shooting this one. So, looking forward to that. Gonna have some fun today. So, you guys check it out. All right, so we shot all of the guns, so I'm gonna go down starting from 12. This is based entirely off the shooting experience, right? So, starting from number 12, it's gonna have to be this bad boy here. Largely because the recoil is just immense. Jesus Christ, that thing hits. I would love to stand up here and say, me Colin, me strong guy. Nah, it hits. Going on number 11. For number 11, it's gonna have to be the bolt action. And the only reason why is because we shot it within a very limited environment. It kind of limits the ability of the gun, really limits what it can truly do. So number 10 is going to have to be the Uzi. The Uzi is just, yeah, it ergonomically sucks. Holy crap, the trigger's horrible. But it has some novelty to it considering its history, you know, it's pretty iconic. So that's why it wasn't completely last. So 9 is gonna have to be the FN 15 chambered in 300 black. Largely, honestly, because I've shot tons of AR-15s. It's kind of, you know, it's there. It's not bad. It's good. I enjoy it. But, you know, it is still very much an AR-15. Yep. Right. So 8. This was a hard decision. Actually, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's gonna have to be 1911. largely due in part to just magazine capacity.
Yeah.
And because otherwise, you know, with a higher capacity magazine, I'd get the full experience of shooting a 1911 suppressed, which I think is an experience all of its own. Number 7,
Yeah.
it's gonna have to be the M1A. I can go in ad nauseum about nostalgia
Right.
and all the old school, you know, aspects of it that make it really cool, unique. But at the same time, it's like I feel a sense of dread and just like guilt for allowing people to run around with one of these to protect their lives with in the middle of the war.
Right, there's a reason we've upgraded, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I'd sit there on the battlefield and just stress out, trying to load the bag.
What does that mean, like 30 seconds just to
Yeah,
load it?
exactly.
Yeah. So 6. It's gonna have to be a little easy. By and large, it is in the same realm as the Uzi. It's just a little bit smaller, so it doesn't seem as unwieldy. But full auto, pretty damn satisfying. Oh, man. All right, so 5 is gonna have to be, gotta be the Steyr, and here's why. As great of a shooting experience as Steyr has, it's not full auto.
It's not full
The
auto.
remaining guns are full auto.
Right.
Out of sheer just principle. There's no way I could just pick a semi-auto over a full auto.
Right.
In terms of shooting experience. 4, for the same reasons as the Steyr, is gonna have to be the CC Scorpion. Ironically enough, I actually picked the Steyr over the CC Scorpion when we were shooting on the 4th.
Right.
Right? So, and here's why. I went back and I had a come to Jesus moment. The reason why the Steyr I picked it before is because I lowered the bar. Here's how ugly it is. So, it's a very good shooting gun, but I still, if I had to choose, pick and choose, just based off shooting experience and shootability, it's gonna have to be the Scorpion. Now we're at 3. This where it starts getting juicy. All right, I'm gonna have to go with the G3.
Okay.
For 3. Just because it is an experience, right? You remember I said I likened it to getting punched in the face by Mike Tyson over and over again. It's like getting punched in the face by Mike Tyson. But you are in the ring with Mike Tyson. However, when you go home and have to deal with your bruises, none of that matters.
Right.
So at a certain point, it kind of, the kind of nuanced quality loses itself.
Diminishing returns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A little fun factor wears out after a while.
Exactly, right? So that's why this is gonna have to be number 3. So I thought this was gonna be easy. Number 2 is gonna have to be the PS90.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah.
We're both wrong on that.
You're right. I was shocked. Absolutely shocked at just how manageable it is under full auto.
Right.
However, this is just sheer, raw, unadulterated thrill. You set that thing in full auto and you just ride that roller coaster, and it never gets old. Never gets old. I'm gonna do it again. I could see myself after about the 990th mag now.
Okay.
You know, at a certain point, I'm like, okay, all right, I'm holding it. I'm holding it. Great.
got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That thing, it seems it's just a different experience every single time.
Brings the party. Yeah.
Yeah, it just, for whatever reason, it's just, I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So there's an X factor here that I can't quantify in words, but that this almost has, but not quite. So number 1, it's gonna have to be the Rifle Dynamic KK. How has the evolution of training changed, and then why do you think it's important that training should continue to evolve?
Wow, that's a very complex question with some cool answers, actually, and I've thought about this a lot. So, you know, firearms training back in the day was about safety.
Don't put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot. Look at your target and what's beyond the target. Don't point it at anything that you don't want to kill or destroy. Like, all of those things, that's what's important.
When you ask me that, and I'm looking here at an EOTech, the holographic sights or red dots weren't around until right at the first Gulf War.
As the tool evolves, the training has to evolve to some degree. At one point, a revolver was kind of like the mainstay of, you know, but now you have semi-autos, the caliber rounds have grown.
The idea that people are just gonna buy these guns and just put them in their safe and not go out and use them I related to a car guy that buys a car like that and never takes it to the track.
Now it's evolving to more scenario-based. So if you're using like simunitions and elevated heart rate drills and advanced target acquisition with split times and a bunch of other really complex range features, you're gonna be more prepared to defend yourself, because if you're using it in a scenario and you become proficient in a scenario, safety is just kind of an afterthought.
Yeah.
Probably like in like 10 years, it's gonna be all virtual reality and you won't have to go to the range anymore, you know?
I hope not. These days, you'd be hard-pressed to find a person on the planet that didn't love suppressors. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if we found leaked emails of suppressor confirmation orders on Hillary Clinton's secret server. For the record, I'm gonna be using the terms suppressor and silencer interchangeably in this video, because you can suppress a gun with a silencer. Then again, I am the same guy who thinks that the L and the R on his Nike Dry Fit socks are just a suggestion. The first time I saw the Maxim 9, I thought, yeah, that's exactly what I thought the first integrally suppressed handgun would look like. Visually, it was doing something, but I just couldn't wrap my head around exactly what that was. However, all types of cliche analogies come to mind. Analogies like, dang bro, that looks like a RoboCop gun. Man, that thing looks like a boat paddle. Dude, it's like a tactical tennis racket. 2025 called, and they're wondering how you have their gun already. I could keep going, and to be honest, each and every one of those descriptions is correct, because the Maxim 9 is a freaking weird-looking gun. Even the grip texture makes the gun look like it's having an allergic reaction, or that it was designed by someone obsessed with binary code, but forgot to add the zeros. It's a gun that looks too unique for some people, but perfectly unique to others. Then again, there was a time where the Glock was considered unique looking. Now, it's one of the most boring looking guns on the market. The Maxim 9 is a little kid with a weird face and oversized head that all the other kids keep picking on until they piss that kid off and realize that weird little kid has superpowers. As far as I'm concerned, the industry is awash with redundancy masquerading as revolutionary. So I invite any and all attempts at legitimate innovation. The gun sits low in your hand and is very HKVP9-ish in the way the back of the grip courts your hand to grip the gun as high as possible. The Maxim 9 shoots like a Glock 34 with a Surefire light attached, except with less recoil and a lot smoother. I don't know what it is, but the Maxim 9 is a really smooth shooter, which in turn makes the gun a joy to shoot. However, I gotta say the weakest part of this gun has got to be the trigger. The trigger just kept getting in the way of the unity of the gun. If the trigger was good, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but it's just not a good trigger. It's long, gritty, and heavy. However, I'm not gonna harp on the trigger too much, as this particular Maxim 9 isn't a final product, but more or less a refined prototype. Things like the sight radius, which is 9 miles long, made aiming incredibly easy. You would think that with all the ruckus going on in the front of the gun, that the Maxim 9 would point less naturally than most of its more traditional counterparts. But I'd argue it pointed better. Unlike most guns where the top portion of the gun moves back and forth, only about half of the Maxim's top portion actually moves back and forth while firing, which I think adds to the gun's low recoiling nature. And of course, the added weight of the integral suppressor plays a big part in that as well. Either way, it made shooting the gun fun and enjoyable, and I dare say, relaxing. Before I fired a single round through this gun, it was filthy. I ran just under 700 rounds and it ate everything from subsonic to supersonic. With subsonic rounds, the gun was quiet enough. With supersonic, it got noticeably louder, but still took the edge off of the traditional Street Fighter sonic boom explosion you usually have to deal with. In conclusion, the Maxim 9 is a freaking cool gun. This is a great nightstand gun, a great duty gun. However, anyone talking about it as a concealed carry gun is out of their mind. It's a functional gun that looks like a novelty, priced like a Glock fitted with an Osprey. Look, I get it. It's easy to poke fun at the gun. But when you do, all that tells me is that you haven't shot it nor felt it in hand. Because I promise you, anybody making fun of the way it looks, it may be justifiably so, I promise you that when you actually do shoot this gun, you're gonna walk away thinking, damn, that was actually pretty freaking cool. This is the actual finished product. The one I did a review on was a prototype. Some of the couple of upgrades that they, not necessarily upgrades, but things that they refined compared to the prototype, which was a 3D printed lower. Actual grip texturing is a lot more refined. On top of that, it's a lot more contoured, so the ergonomics are a lot better. Then, most importantly, is they cleaned up the trigger. And I think by and large, if you watch my initial video review of the Maxim 9, I harped on the trigger being really gritty. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a magazine and kind of run a couple of rounds through this gun with the more refined finish aspects of the gun, the final product essentially, and see how it does. The grip does feel a lot better. And then on top of that, the trigger is actually a lot smoother than what it was before. This trigger, I can deal with and actually like. But then again, I actually really like the gun as is to begin with. So now that I have the final product in my hand, I like the gun even more, just based off the sheer fact that the trigger's a lot better and the grip texturing and just the overall look of the gun is a lot more refined.
Yeah, well, I'm the CEO of SilencerCo. I founded the company with my best friend in 2008.
What sparked that? What made you even want to do that to begin with?
I've been shooting my whole life. I grew up on a farm, so shooting was an everyday part of my life. When I was in my 20s, my partner and I started buying silencers. When we started doing it, it was a daunting task. It was like, so is this legal or is this not legal? And so we did the whole rigmarole of the application process, the $200 tax and the whole waiting period. And we finally started getting our silencers that we were buying. And we're like, wow, all of that for this? Really? I mean, they were heavy, they were loud. We're like, well, why don't we do something better? Let's teach people what suppressors are used for. Let's make the buying experience easier. Let's, be involved with advocacy and change things, It's more than just a product, it's a lifestyle. Yeah. And really the basis of that lifestyle is like, why do we have to shoot loud? Why do we have to put up with that? Yeah. Let's challenge that whole thought process, that status quo that existed, and say why. Bringing innovation to the market continually is really what's exciting to me with our brand and with our fans. The holy grail for engineering and innovation is consumer electronics, obviously, and the auto industry. Yeah. When they're releasing a product, they're already working on their next 10. Yeah. That product roadmap is a lot closer together. With the suppressor industry and the gun industry, if you buy a gun and then the next year the same gun has one other thing, everybody comes unglued. And they're like, well, I demand a refund.
For an industry where we pride ourselves on the joy and the value we get from going out and shooting guns, it's weird because then in the same breath, we criticize, like you say, little minor innovations or things that may not necessarily add to the functional utility of the firearm, but may add to the overall user experience. I remember when I first started doing my kind of gun reviews, I was getting criticized because it was like, well, what are you talking about? It's a tool.
I get it. There can be utility, and the utility is an important part of it because it is a tool. However, part of the reason that it has limited this industry and what you were talking about is the fact that the innovation has been so slow. It's time for some change. It's time to shake this industry up. So if I was to choose an industry that I would like this to be more like, I would say that probably the travel industry, because everybody that travels is freaking happy. Like, we should all be unified and believe in what we're trying to do and fight together for the rights that we are constantly being stripped away from us. That's what we should be doing. When I started this company, I didn't know that I was going to be able to work with these amazing people and change laws all across the country.
Yeah.
And I've been able to have my fingers in 36 laws changed on the state level.
It's incredible.
That's America, though. That's what we can do.
Yeah, I don't really even separate the two. Like, I don't really separate the product, the politics, and the culture. I think they're all one and the same. I think they live in the same space, and they have to. That being said, what does SilencerCo look like if HPA does pass?
At the end of the day, if someone opposes HPA, then they don't believe in the Second Amendment. And if it destroys the silencer market for profitability, then fine. I'll make something else that's innovative and fun. Because it's the right thing to do for the Constitution, for the American people.
The Hearing Protection Act, HPA, will give me the ability to go to a gun store, pass a background check, and pick up a suppressor. Right now, gun owners have to fill out a sea of forms, pay a ridiculous transfer fee, then wait for endless months in hopes the ATF will magically bless your application. All for an accessory that reduces your gun sound from a jet engine to a jackhammer. Yeah, that's still pretty freaking loud. And not the totally silent fire Hollywood hypocrites would have you believe.
Open the register. Yeah, it's right there on the ground. Open the register. Now. Come here, bro. Hey, what are you doing? Not the window right now. Let me show you exactly what it is.
All right, give me a little clap.
Hey!
Okay, stand by.
And action!
Do not turn it off.
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. We've all seen the footage on YouTube, how criminals will come into an environment and just start putting rounds off. You need to understand to get as close to the threat dynamic as you possibly can. When it comes to one-handed pistol manipulation, our goal is to get that gun back up online. Figure it out and fix the problem. When it comes to one-handed manipulation, there's three things to think about: immediate action, mechanical and body awareness, and adaptability.
Action! Cut!
When we talk about immediate action, it is exactly that. It's instantaneously triggering yourself to get that gun back up in the fight. If I push this gun out and get a click right now, my immediate action needs to be tap, rack, and immediately get the gun back in the fight. There can't be any downtime in between that sequence. The second I know something's wrong, it's up to me to immediately fix it and get it back in the fight. Again, training's gonna help you guys with that. If my right arm goes down in an environment where I'm at a convenience store, I'm at another location where I didn't expect that to happen, I need to be able to think about problem solving. And that's one of the things about immediate action is what are you gonna do right away to get yourself back in the fight? Second thing is mechanical and body awareness. Mechanical and body awareness is something that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys and guys that do martial arts understand really well. It's a chess match with their body. You can close your eyes, put on a blindfold, and know exactly where you are. Doing that with the firearm is just as important. Understanding where the threat is, understanding where the unknowns are, and where the innocent bystanders are is essential in making sure that shot placement and target ID are done right. So when you're talking about one-handed manipulation, I need to know where this gun is in space and where my body is in space at all times. I want that muzzle pointed towards the threat as much as possible. That mechanical awareness and training that is going to help me understand how to deploy that in that environment. The third thing is adaptability. We have to be able to adapt in our environment regardless of what it's giving us. I have to be adaptable. This is my main weapon system. Next is my body, and next is what I put in my hand as an extension. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. No matter what you do in training, you need to try to push the dynamics of what you're used to doing, and that's gonna cause you to be able to problem solve. I can tap rack this thing right on the bed of the truck. At the end of the day, I can do that on a rock. I can do it on anything that my environment is giving me. I have to be adaptable, and I have to problem solve. How do we do that? How do we know that we're gonna be able to do that in a threat environment? It's to do it in training as much as we possibly can.
Okay, hit it. Ready? Yep. Send a camera.
Okay, here we go. Roll camera, please.
When engaging with one hand, I keep my arm at a 45-degree or natural cant. Once I've identified that I have a malfunction, I immediately take my finger out of the trigger. Once I get close to my body or the surface that I'm seating the magazine on, I'm being extremely careful to avoid sweeping myself or anyone else in the environment. Once the magazine is seated, I then need to find a surface to rack the slide on. The type of sights you have on your gun will be a critical factor in ensuring you can get a solid grip on your clothing. As I rack the slide on a surface, the goal is to eject a bad round or re-rack the gun so it can cycle a new round in or get the gun back into battery. Once I've successfully racked the gun, my objective is to now get the gun online as quick as possible while maintaining high muzzle awareness. As I get the gun back in my line of sight, I'm maintaining situational awareness in my environment and whether I'll engage or not, depending on the scenario.
Welcome to the Season 6 Noir Shooting Challenge. I'm Jeff Houston, lead instructor of NRA Carry Guard Training. The Season 6 Shooting Challenge is based off the success of the Season 5 NOIR Team Challenge.
All right, guys, it's finally over. This was down to the wire. Team Nomo won. So good job, you guys.
However, this year, there's a big change. The shooters will not know the course of fire until moments before they compete. Each course, the shooters will be awarded points based off their performance. The first place team will be awarded 3 points, the second place team will be awarded 2 points, and the third place team will be awarded 1 point. At the end of the competition, the team with the most points wins. Now, let's talk about the first course of fire. Teams will be determined based off of this first course. This will be done individually and will act as a sorting mechanism for the teams. The shooters will start at the 7-yard line and will shoot a single piece of steel once with their pistol. They will then safely holster their pistol and move to the 10-yard line and engage that same piece of steel once using the Mossberg pump-action shotgun with a slug. The shooters will then run to 75 yards and engage again that same piece of steel once with their carbine. Finally, shooters will move to the crossbow stage and engage the target at 50 yards with the Raven crossbow. The shooters who successfully complete the whole course without any misses will be towards the top, and time will determine the place level. If a shooter misses a target, they will be rated based on how far they got in the time they got there in. From there, we will team up shooters, placing the first place shooter with the 6th place shooter, the 2nd place shooter with the 5th place shooter, and finally the 3rd place shooter with the 4th place shooter. Now, let's meet our contestants.
My name is Barrett Fawbush, and I'm the senior minister of Old Union Christian Church in Poseyville, Indiana.
My name is Alex. A lot of people know me as Alex Zedra in the gun world. I like to play video games. I actually own a bakery with my mom.
My name's Nicole Laurel. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm a fitness model, and I've been shooting for a little over 2 years.
My name is Thea Van Syke. I'm from Southern Oregon. Right now, I'm a retail wireless consultant. So I like to shoot guns, obviously, because I'm here.
I'm Colion Noir, the obviously sexy chocolate host of the show. I'm also the winner of Season 5 NOIR Team Challenge with Corinne Mosier.
I'm Darren Lasorte, co-host of Noir back in the day and winner of the challenge, Season 2.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting.
Nice.
All right.
You got it. Good job. Shooters, NOIR Season 6, Course of Fire 1 in the bag.
Yep. Yeah, baby.
Nice job. As you guys know, this first Course of Fire was an individual event. This acted as a mechanism to place you on teams. So, starting off, the man, the myth, the legend, Colion Noir. You had a time of 41.75. You did hit all 4 targets, but you got a penalty.
Of course.
Penalty of 5 seconds for not reholstering the pistol. You left it up on the front table. Puts you at a time of 46.75. Good job. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
What'd you think about the first Course of Fire?
First Course of Fire. Initially, once you hit me with the whole "if you miss, you're done" kind of thing, that kind of changed the perspective for me a little bit, right? Yeah, because I like to try to make up stuff.
Yep, that's different. That's definitely different. Yeah, in this Course of Fire, all shooters were only given 1 round per weapon at each station. You miss, your time ends, and that was a challenge for you. Darren.
Yep.
You had a time of 39 seconds, but your time ended not on a positive note.
Right.
You failed to hit contact target on the crossbow. You want to talk us through that for a second?
Sure. It was a very good lesson in why I was treating a crossbow differently than I would a firearm, and I shouldn't, I realized. So loaded the bolt, that went pretty well. Got back on, was trying to turn the safety off, and I, for whatever reason, decided to use my offhand to turn the safety off instead of my primary hand like I would any gun I would ever handle. And we went back and looked at film, and these 2 fingers were sure enough on the trigger as I was deactivating the safety.
So you're like a premature bow shooter?
Yeah, fortunately that's the only thing it applies to, but that's good.
They have medication for that.
Well, when that shot was fired from the crossbow, the timer said 39, so your time is 39 seconds, but you only got through 3 out of 4 of the courses of fire.
Correct.
Barrett.
Yeah.
36-32 through all 4 stages. That's fast.
That is fast.
But it's always got to be a but.
Yeah, I had a penalty.
Had a time penalty.
That's right.
Left the pistol at the shotgun station. Instructions are to holster your firearm before you fire the shotgun. Didn't do so, so you two assessed a 5-second penalty. So your time, 41-32.
Cool.
Nice.
Nice.
Alex, 57 seconds. However, another penalty. You actually had a safety penalty. You want to talk us through that?
Yeah, kind of like how Darren, I shouldn't have treated it any different than I would a rifle. I would never load my rifle and then run in front of it, which is what I did with the crossbow. After I knocked it.
Yep, shortest. You wanted to go the shortest path.
Yeah.
It's odd, isn't it? Like, none of us would ever do that with a firearm.
Right.
It's just weird how that one little thing can change. It's still a lethal weapon, on a table, but we don't think about it. It's foreign, so you paid a 10-second penalty for that. Okay, so puts you at a minute 7. All right, minute 7 total.
Still good round.
Thea, once again, the only person to complete all 4 courses of fire without a time penalty.
Nice. This is 2 directions.
Thea's time after shooting all 4 was 1 minute and 6 seconds.
Nice.
What'd you think about that course of fire?
That was a lot of fun. Like, I've never shot so many platforms at once, and then shooting the crossbow was kind of like a little trippy, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it.
Nicole,
Yes.
missed your AR shot. So you want to talk us through that miss?
I was just nervous.
Yeah?
I took my time and I just got nervous.
Yep. You two were standing up there, kind of floating around a little bit. I'm sure your heart was racing after that 75-yard sprint. So you got through 2 courses of fire. At that time that you missed your AR shot, your time was 40 seconds. Now, the moment everyone's been waiting for. In first place, with a time of 41-32 and all 4 targets hit, we've got Barrett.
Yep.
Your teammate coming up in the 6th place position is Nicole.
Oh.
Barrett and Nicole.
I like it. I like it.
The next person in 2nd place with 46.75, Mr. Noir, everybody.
Yeah!
We're not ready!
Your teammate is the person coming up in the 5th place position, the guy we all know and love, Mr. Darren Lasort. And rounding it out with the last team, 3rd and 4th place, we've got Alex and Thea.
Nice. I like it.
Killing it. All right, everybody. Now we have our teams. We're going to move into course 2. Next time on the NOIR Team Challenge.
I think the best thing for us, honestly, is to just take our time and get our targets.
I feel like whatever I can do to help you. Breathe it out, hear yourself breathe. You know what to do, girlfriend. That's what I want to do.
Here's how I break it up, because Barrett's fast.
Right.
But I think we're fast enough where he can't make up for his partner not being as fast.
My goal is to encourage you to be the best that you can be. That's my goal.
So if we stay steady. Wait, do you have any shotgun ammo?
Oh, shit.
I think we got this in the bag.
Okay.
I mean, we're the only female team, so I feel like we really need to prove ourselves.
Why am I not in Myrtle Beach right now? What am I doing here?
Boom, we got this thing.
Before you go, I want to tell you about the new online store, shop MrColionNoir.com. Here you can grab your favorite pieces from the Pew Pew Life, Ammosexual, and the new Colion Noir line. You guys have been asking for the CN logo hats for a while now, and now they're here. I'm also really excited about the line of tumblers and water bottles that I've added to the store as well. Now you can show your pride for the lifestyle we all love and stay hydrated all at the same time. So click the first link in the description box and grab your gear today. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.